What's up, y'all? This is Koi, of course, coming through from a ray of gratitude, giving y'all a peace of mind to at least that one person at a time. Here on my YouTube channel, I talk about cards, I talk about chakras, and I talk about creativity, the best thing that I love to talk about. And speaking of creativity, since we are in the weekend of Mother's Day, for those that have mothers or for those that don't, we all have a divine feminine within us. And yes, I'm speaking to females, but I'm also speaking to males too. Males, you guys have feminine energy. We all have feminine energy. There's feminine and masculine energy. And in short, feminine energy is receptive, is creative, is intuitive, is just more of like this. That's how I feel like. And masculine energy is more of this. Is more of assertive, logical, practical. There's another word on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it right now. But it's the yin and yang. That's really what that is. I truly believe that here on Earth, welcome y'all. It's very paradoxal, there's opposites. And when we find that balance between the two, that's when we can most definitely tap into that peaceful, calm energy, as well as be that clean, open channel to um, the universe. Point blank, period. I'm just going to say it like that. Whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it the universe. Because you know what? It's universal energy. For those that know about Reiki, Reiki breaks down to Rei, I believe life force, right? And then ki is energy. So it's life force energy. To me, universal energy. If I'm not mistaken, that is Japanese. But there's so many other terms that describe that. But what we're all trying to say here is universal energy, right? So I want to talk about this divine feminine and do a card reading. Shout out to my girl Liz Vet that did this shirt. The divine feminine, all right? And also, before I start, I'm going to utilize, this is the first time on camera that I've used this. This is, someone told me this is a brass bowl. I don't think it's not Tibetan. Tibetan, I don't know if they use brass, but it's just a little bit different. But all in all, these bowls, I like to say singing bowls, they sing and project a sound, a frequency that really attunes with your body, your chakras, and helps bring that alignment with your mind, heart, soul, and spirit, whatever you want to say. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep saying whatever you want because I don't like labels, but I gotta use them for people to understand. So, anywho, let's get into the reading, but first we'll do this, all right? And this reading is going to be about creativity, divine feminine energy, and how can we utilize that? How can we bring in forward and tap into that divine essence of it instead of a lower vibe? And you have to talk about, with light comes dark, right? So we got to talk about that. So I'm gonna do this if you guys don't mind. Okay, let's get started. For those that are watching at home, clearly, because y'all aren't in my house, if you want to, just listen with your eyes closed and take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth as I play this bowl for you. All right. So I'm calling in this divine energy right now to bring forward the divine feminine, the energy of the divine feminine, as well as the energy of the divine. May we feel, hear, and see the things we need to today during this weekend. Keep it real with yourself, with truth, transparency, as well as authenticity. I am my best self. I move forward towards truth, clarity, and the best thing for me to do for my highest and greatest good so I can show up authentic for others. Let's get it. Y'all ready? Okay, let's do this. So, I'm using my new deck that I have not shown anybody before. I've used these for me, but it's the Native Heart of Healing Oracle, and it really taps into a lot of chakra energy and all that jazz. So let's get into it. Let's just see, what is this overall message that we have here that I'd like to share from Spirit to you all for this weekend energy, today and tomorrow, moving into Monday. What is the overall message about? Let's see. Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light, number 33. It's a master number too. Let's see what it's about. I see a hummingbird in here, and a lot of circles, which to me looks like so I was reading a book about sacred geometry, and the circle is actually the feminine energy, which makes sense, right, y'all? Like, if y'all didn't know that, it just makes sense. That's feminine energy. I mean, if you think about it, many of us women, when you think of women, you think of curves, instead of straight lines. And we're not talking about how big the curve is, but on any woman there are some curves, hands down. You don't have to be curvy, but you have some curves, all right, y'all. So let's see. All right, Keeper of Light. It says, as within, so without. Recharge in nature, peace in silence. The Keeper of the Light is illuminating your pathway. The winged one within is, in this mandala, reminds you to keep your heart open and your wings spread wide. Open your world within to reveal your outer world. So you have allowed yourself to become disconnected from spirit, from the light that gives your life. This mandala encourages you to reconnect with all things at nature, to rediscover yourself. Your spirit is not hard to find. It has been with you all along. In many shamanic societies, if you complained of being disheartened, dispirited, or depressed, the medicine person might ask, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? I heard this before. It feels like deja vu. Anyway, when did you stop finding comfort in the sweet territory of silence? Dancing, singing, storytelling, and silence of universal healing solves. The point when you stop these activities is when you have experienced a loss of soul. Singing and dancing your spirit back, enjoy the sweet territories of your inner silence, and allow yourself to listen to the inspiring stories of life. Well, thank you for those that just came in here, because you are allowing yourself to listen to these sweet stories of life. And I just also want to say, like, I just was talking about this with my mom the other day because I've been saying this for a very long time. Singing and dancing is the quickest way to raise your vibration. Now, yes, sometimes we do that because we're in a funk and we don't want to look at, or feel the nasty low vibe. So we'll just go right into it and just, dismiss it and just say, hey, whatever, right? Sometimes when you're open to it, though, through that dancing and through that singing, you find answers to remove and transmute that energy from low vibrational into higher vibrations. There is a thing that where we try to cover up our negative into positivity. And that can be harmful because you're depressing, you're compressing, and you're oppressing the energy that needs to be seen and flow through instead of stashed in a place within our body, our chakras, or just within our mind that's unconscious. We want it to be conscious so we can be like, I don't think so. We're not going there, or we're not going to act or react in that way. Cause what? I really need to start looking up with the percentages, because I always give this analogy. Like, I think it's like 90% of us, 90% of our brain subconscious thoughts are from our reactions. Am I saying that right? We react from 90% of our subconscious brain. Can we be more conscious, right? Can we tap into that intuition that I'm talking about with the divine feminine? Can we tap into our heart and our feelings? Our heart has this way of connecting. Our heart is almost, I want to say, it does more work. If there's any scientists out here that's watching this, please correct me. But I feel that our heart is the hardest working organ, possibly harder than our brain, because it has to do like this, and then it has to go down here, and then it like controls. It's the control center, and it has a lot of neurons and just so much energy, electricity running through this organ to talk to our brain, to also talk and direct everything through our body, our blood. And it is proven that when, we feel depressed, our heart starts slowing down. It's proven that when we have blocks within our heart, it doesn't talk that much to our mind. How are we finding that balance? So, enough said with that. All right, let's get into the real. I'm bringing out the tarot. All right, so what does tarot have to tell us today? Okay, we're going to talk about things that we don't see. Okay, but what is the divine feminine? What is the divine feminine working on, working towards? Right? The divine feminine working towards right now, especially the divine feminine energy, y'all. I really want y'all to think on energy terms, because I'm sure some people are thinking like, gender, all this stuff. No, it's not gender, it's the energy. Let me get one more card. It's the energy, y'all. Because I can have a lot of, first of all, I'm a Gemini. So right then and there, I'm just going to break down my twins as masculine and feminine just for y'all real quick. Sometimes, if I'm too much in one type of way and when I'm unbalanced, I'm all up in my masculine energy. Sometimes, I could be all up in my feminine. But when I'm really at balance, it's both, I don't remember her name right now. I'm going blank. But there's a girl that just was talking about, she said an affirmation, and she said that, for the masculine, that they are open to listen to their intuition and act in the way accordingly. I know she didn't say that verbatim, but it's like, that's what finding balance is. Receiving and giving. And that's the power of the heart as well. Some chakras are told that they have, they're basically holding masculine energy. For say, your solar plexus, which is right underneath your rib cage, that's more of masculine energy. Your sacral chakra is more of feminine energy. And your heart chakra is definitely both. I'm just going to say that. All right? So let's get this other card here. Who wants to come out? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the Three of Pentacles. The Five and the Three of Pentacles are in reverse. And then we have the Temperance. And this is all about making magic. What was I talking about earlier, right? With the yin and yang sign. It's about alchemy. It's about, they always show the angel here because she has one foot in the water, understanding the emotions, right? And then one foot on land, knowing where she came from, knowing where she's going, and figuring out that practicality. What do you have to do? It's almost like the magician in a way that I'm thinking now. Like, what do you have to do in order to create this magic, right? You have to have all of your elements out. You have to understand the trial and the error, which this person came from, this entity came from, understanding all these trials and errors. And now she's like, all right, I know some of this wisdom. Now I'm going to transform this wisdom, all these these failures, right? These things that didn't work. And now I'm really going to be like, I know what works now. I'm transforming that energy into something that I'm creating now. And what are we creating? We don't want to create anything that's hurting us anymore. We want to create something that is raising our vibrations. We want to create something that is better than before. And we want to create positivity. And we all have the power to create our own happiness. But we have to understand what is going on here. We have to be real with and look with taking those rose-colored glasses off, clarity, and say, okay, I'm ready. I want to see, I want to feel, and I want to hear, I want to listen to my body. What is my heart saying? It could be saying a lot of effed up stuff, but it's okay. You let that go through you. You hear it. You recognize it. You see it. And then you say, no more. How am I moving forward? Now it's how. It's not why. It's how. How am I moving forward, right? And that's when the masculine energy comes into play, right? Because that feminine energy, we're tapping into ourselves so we can nurture ourselves, nurture our heart, and cry it out. It is okay to cry it out here. Five of Pentacles, there were losses. There were losses. A lot of us have lost people, places, and things. But how I want to say here is we're moving forward from this. We don't know. We didn't know how to work this out. We didn't know how to work on understanding our emotions. But what are we doing? We're figuring it out, though. We are taking action now. The Divine Feminine actually is taking action now. Because she sat there and she nurtured herself enough to the point where it's like, all right, I see and understand this newfound wisdom. So now we tap into that masculine energy and act on what we know. Once you know better, you do better, right? That's where that saying comes from. Or at least that's what I'm going to put into play. Let's clarify this Five of Pentacles, please. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but you're finding your sacred space. You're finding your place. You're finding your grounding, your security. You're finding your foundation. And you're working on this these pains here. You're moving towards calmer waters. Because that's where you'll find the ability to create something. Like I was talking about that Temperance card. temperance, right? Allowing grace and peace of mind to come forward so it can allow spirit to move you in a place where that can be like, yes, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be over here now. To better waters, to calmer waters, um to hear that, right? We're moving away from this anxiety here. We're moving away from things that have caused us, people, places, and things that have caused anxiety, that have caused like anguish, right? We're moving away from that because we know better. It's been a hard ass, it's been a hard time and a long time coming. But it's finally time for us to understand that. Because if we don't, we're just going to continue feeling that way. And then we can sit there and complain, right? We can blame other people, or we can take responsibility and ownership and be like, you know what, no more. I'm not doing this because I know that I have the power to change my emotions, change how I feel, and I don't have to put up with this stuff. You know, it's not about always saying goodbye to somebody. Like, oh well, I don't need you anymore. Get out of my life. No, it's not about that. Which we'll be talking about the I don't want to say toxic feminine, but it takes one to know one, right? And it takes a lower vibe to know how to reach up to go higher. Because if you stay in the high all the time, you're not going to know how to transform or transmute the lows. Because I don't know anybody in reality that hasn't experienced some type of low in their or loss in their life, you know? I mean, one thing we all share is here on earth, hello y'all, like we all die. That's guaranteed, right? And you can say that's a loss, but you can also say it's a rebirth to something new. So, let me see what this Three of Pentacles is talking about. Okay. Yeah, we're coming into understanding on how things to work basically. Because we didn't really know. I just feel like a lot of us didn't know. And this weekend, yeah, this weekend really is going to help us. But this is the thing, y'all. We gotta be able to stay grounded enough and calm enough to hear, listen, and feel. Like I was saying, because there's a need to really feel like uncut truth, right? And a lot of times we can't handle the truth, but when it comes from us, you got to be able to handle the truth. You know, you got to be able to be like, all right, I done saw the signs. About 6 people done told me the same thing. And now you sit down with yourself and you feel it and you just hear in your mind the same daggone thing. What is that saying to you? You don't have to be spiritual to know that it's all right. Maybe I need to wake up and really take heed to this information here. Let's see. What was I going to... Okay, so we're going to talk about the shadow side, all right? We're going to talk about... And don't be afraid of shadows, right? It's just things that are hidden, things that are not seen, things that are possibly not in reality, right? And the divine feminine, let's see, the opposite of the divine feminine is, I just don't want to say toxic feminine. But it's not divine, right? It's the learning. It could be the ego side of the divine or whatnot. Let's get one more. Oh, okay. This one's hiding somewhere. Got threes again. So I have Downcast Pride. Today for Tomorrow. And Calling the Storm. So this is interesting too. I think I might do it like this because I like these cards because it has like moon cycles. This is the new moon because you don't even see the moon, right? This is the half moon. I'm not quite sure if it's waxing or gibbous or waning. I'm not sure. And this is the full moon. So right there is telling me that there's a need to bring in and let go, and again the balance. Let me see if I can read from the book real quick because these are new to me. Let me see something. I'm just going to read just one little saying that it makes. Okay, Downcast Pride, right? The root of sadness and grief is deeper than the skin. The only delusion is the gray sky. Survival is a direct consequence of adaptation. What we call adaptation is not the result of a subtle but constantly constructive change of ourselves, but rather a mockery of it. As we strip day by day of our dignity in order to avoid conflict with the world that would spread us apart. All right, I'm gonna stop right there because it gets long. Um, so downcasting pride. This is interesting because what I'm getting is almost like I deserve better, right? It's like you deserve better, but from all the crap that you went through just to survive has weighed your heart down. Because remember, we were talking about this, right? Keeper of light. It's weighed your heart down. So in turn, it's like subconsciously telling you that I don't deserve. Because if, like, why does it have to be this hard to get what I need, to get what I want? It's hard because your heart is weighed down with all this negative stuff that you've went through, that people, hurt people, right? Um, and it's just like, look at this. People say that the new moon is the dark moon because you can't see it. It's not illuminated. Um, and when we were talking about keeper of the light here, it's it's a sense of the divine feminine being wounded, right? You ever met someone that just has like bad luck in love and just bitter about love, you know, or just depressed and heartbroken still? Some people be like, "Dang, you didn't get over that person," but it's like, no, I didn't. Why? Because you're still grieving. You're still grieving because with grief comes so many emotions, and you haven't unpacked that. You're holding it all in as this person looks dark, to the point where it's almost like, I kind of want to say, blackening your heart. And in order for that light to break through that darkness, there's a need to feel, allow that heart to pump more again. You know? Um, Calling the storm. Let's talk about this one. All right, calling the storm. Pull and release, push to the limit. The eye is the only peaceful place that can be. There's a time to find a release. There's a time to find and release our power, like a spring that had been compressed to the point it has lost the memory of motion and movement. Okay, didn't I just say something similar to this? Like, so you can pump your heart. It's like you're so compressed because, like, literally, like, it's like body language is universal. When you see somebody like this, and just have their head down, especially, what does that tell you, right? And it's like you're sinking in, almost like covering your heart, right? And there's actually a yoga pose that opens the heart up, which literally is like this: shoulders back. You know what I'm saying? And this is knowing. This is opening your heart and knowing that it's okay. I just was talking with somebody about how after the storm, right? You see the light, you see clearer skies, sometimes even rainbows, right? And figuratively that can mean also that the storm cleared, and now and trust your own self, if you've been looking and being real with yourself, to create a sacred space for you to feel, listen, and see more love within yourself. So in turn, you can bring more brightness to yourself, because if you have that heart that's pumping, people are going to feel that though, regardless. And many times we've hidden our hearts because of not wanting to feel the pain or not wanting to feel like XYZ. But then not knowing that you hiding your heart from other people winds up hiding your heart from yourself. And then you start neglecting yourself, you start treating yourself bad, you start telling yourself negative things. This is the shadow side. The divine side is more into the light. The shadow side is hidden. And it's more internal too. And it's something to look at though. Can you grab your flashlight and look at some things in the dark that you've kept hidden? And can you ask yourself, why are you hiding them? Maybe because you don't know how to feel, how to transform that energy, or how to see it from a different perspective, right? And this one says today for tomorrow, which is I want it some, I want it later gently. I don't know what that means. Let's read a little bit more. It may seem like a trade-off to sacrifice the present in order to secure a better future. That's what ants do. Or to sacrifice the future to enjoy a better present. Cicadas do this. Each choice holds a bitter taste. It's like watching a child play. Shouldn't she study? And if she were studying, wouldn't she regret not playing more? You meet a person you are attracted to. You do you go past and let it say in your fantasy? Or do you make a move and follow it through to the ending? I don't know, guys. I'm sorry, y'all. The endless choice between regret and remorse. What if? For once, we turn our back to the dark. We do the unexpected and we shred it like a used dress. We can walk by the sea as no one is around and we skinny dip out of our worries. The present and the future are one single integrated connection. There is no choice between the road is only one. What we are today and what we are tomorrow may be different, but it is the same person. So this is what I'm talking about. Look how they're holding hands too. Like you holding hands with the past because you know that that's still you. Even though you're saying like, I'm releasing this, I'm moving forward, but that's still a part of you. I'm looking at the clock right now, 11:11. We're still walking through this gateway, of newness. We're opening a door into a new realm, a new room that we've never experienced before. But, when you can make peace with the old self, that's when you feel at peace within your heart. Because a lot of times, I remember telling a client, like, and everybody feels this, especially when you're on right in the middle gauge of leveling up. Your old self wants to drag you back where you were. And then it's like a new self is like, no, I'm ready to explore this. I'm ready. And then it's this tug of war thing, right? But when you can make peace, this old self ain't going to be acting out. Have you ever had a little child act out and have a tantrum, right? When you can quiet, simmer that child down, have them feel at peace, then you can be at peace, right? But we got to figure out the ways. And in order to figure out the ways, we got to figure out the truth. We got to find that wisdom, remembering the lessons we learned, right? The trial and errors, the mad scientists. That's what I like to say about temperance. Because the scientists, they have to go through so many trials to understand, like, oh, this is the cure. This is the antidote, right? To what I need, to my problems. And just like a scientist, a creator, I didn't make these paintings just overnight. I had to be at peace with myself to be like, okay, I'm going to stop now. I could still keep going on this painting if I wanted to. But if I didn't say I'm at peace with this, I'm finished, then it wouldn't be. And since we're all co-creators, we are all creative. We have to understand that it's the same thing through processing our emotions, processing life experiences. How do you know better if you're not really doing better? How do you know what you can't see? So let's talk about how, right? Let's go into how, because that's the dark side of this divine feminine. The divine feminine wants to remove all lack things and wants to create this space of things that she's been working on, right? She was being this divine feminine, nurturing herself and loving on herself and understanding and actually looking at her heart that has been broken into all these pieces and finally bringing these pieces together, right? Like a puzzle piece. Oh, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. And sometimes puzzles, when you can't get them, you're like, I want to just rip shit up, right? But if you can move to calmer waters, if you can step away, maybe go back to the puzzle another day, next week or whatnot, then you start seeing the truth. Then you start seeing how you were having your tantrum fit, and then you're like, that's not going to help me, right? So then you're starting to put pieces together and understand, okay, this is better for me. Things are working now. Why? Because you saw the truth. You recognize what wasn't working for you, and you're trying something new. You're at peace. You are calmer, and you're able to see a different perspective. Survival mode will not bring you there because it's a rat race. You know, it just decompresses you down. You can't survive and live at the same time. That's contrast. Calling in the storm. Another saying. This too shall pass. It does. It does. And after the storm, who you were before the storm and who you were afterwards, it's time to make peace. It's time to figure out ways to do that. So how are we going to figure out ways to do that, right? All right, y'all. At first, I was like, I don't want to show this because this looks type ghetto. But look, y'all, I'm working on a new card deck. If you haven't known my other card deck, that's called the Gratitude Attitude card. But you're going to see more of illustrations this time. And I'm not there yet, though. But I am somewhat. I started it, you know. So this is the very beginning on these index cards. Who knows? This might birth two card decks. I'm not quite sure yet. But I do like to incorporate it in my readings because it works like magic. It works right on time. So I have, let me just get one more card here. I just want this yellow one. All right. Wait until y'all see what the yellow one says. So I have answers are coming soon. Oh, this is backwards, I think. Answers are coming soon. Spirit is guiding you. For anybody that are asking questions, maybe, right? Maybe, because answers are coming soon. Find understanding. Oh, wow, I've never seen this one. You're victorious in dance. So you know what I'm picking up right now, though? For those that have been through the struggle, and actually put down that survival energy, actually somewhat gave up, you know, let go and let God. Giving up is not failure. Giving up is taking a break. Is just letting go. Is releasing the things that no longer serve you. And I feel that once you did that, it was almost like you were telling the universe, look, how can I survive if I want to live? I can't. So guess what? I'm going to figure some things out. I'm going to do something better. And the only thing now that you've been doing, possibly, is fighting your old self. And I just want to tell you, congratulations, because you are victorious. Dance that shit off, okay? Like we were just talking about in the beginning. Dancing, singing. What? What now? And do it in a sense of congratulating yourself. Do it in a sense of being victorious, right? Do it in a sense of celebration. Okay? Dance off all that stuff because you will find further understanding. You will connect with spirit and you will get answers through that dance that you just did for yourself, naked in your house somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to dance and put it up on Instagram. I know we're in the age of social media, but you don't, everything isn't for everybody and you don't have to post that. If you feel guided to do that, carry on, you know? If you feel that that will make you feel better, carry on. But don't expect people to like and comment or whatever. Know that you're victorious because you're caring about yourself now and you don't care what other people say. There's a quote that's in my card deck. You know, confidence isn't about if people like you. Confidence is about you don't care if they like you. You like yourself, right? You don't care about that stuff. So I'm gonna close this out because it's getting kind of long, but I just feel like I needed to say that. I know there's people that need to hear this. I'm not saying it in a cocky way, just knowing that this message was on my heart. And I'm doing what I do, inspire and motivate people. So again, waiting for important information. Wow, there's a lot of, some of us are really just like, what do I do? Right? Be still, be patient, and move with finding grace and peace within. Because I know, like, that's patience is patience is definitely a virtue. And there's so many levels to patience because sometimes it's like it's just knowing when to sit still and listen and knowing when to move. Because patience isn't always about sitting and waiting. It's also about moving forward in trust and faith. And there are some answers coming. And sometimes you do have to walk with a blindfold on. You feel that and you're like, I don't know, but I can't sit still. Like, I have to move. But when you have that blindfold on, please know that you're holding hands with spirit. I don't want to say you're holding hands with your old self because your old self may trick you and take you back to the other place where you already were. You don't want that, right? And this says hold space. Hold space for you. Be that divine feminine. Unleash her. Nurture yourself. Lick your wounds. It's okay to do that. It's raining right now. Cleanse that. Cleanse that heart and soul so we can see and feel that light come out of it. Because it says, enjoy success and happiness. When you do these things, it's coming through. Your hard work will be seen. Your hard work will be understood when you start seeing more practical things come in. But at first, the first step here is to nurture yourself. Understand your heart, understand your feelings and emotions. Because once you do that, that builds that confidence into that next level. And if your eyes are wide shut, walking forward, you already know. You're confident enough to know that you have that, you know what that sacred space feels like, and you know where to go when you need to. So that's all I have for this message here, y'all, for the divine feminine. I wanted to come forward. I'm like, how can I don't think I could do this on my table. And then sometimes I'm just like all up in my head, you know, like, did I wear the right bra on? Oh my God, y'all, I just be keeping it real. I just want to keep it real with y'all. But anywho, bring that side out of you that gives truth, that gives love, that allows you to be free and allows you to spread those wings. Because at the end of the day, you are the keeper of your own light. You have to learn how to turn on that light. when you've been sitting in the dark blindfolded. It's hard, but when you find that trust within yourself, it's so much easier to turn that light on and shine light on things that someone looked spooky. You know, you can have certain things in a dark room can look crazy, but until you turn that light on, you'll be like, oh snap, that just was the lamp. Oh, that just was my favorite statue or my teddy bear, you know? So, thank you all for listening. Please comment below, share, like, and subscribe. If you are into cards, if you're into creativity, and if you're into chakras, subscribe. Because what I always like to say is, if you're feeling the vibe, please subscribe. No, I don't usually say it like that, but if you're feeling the vibe, please subscribe. Share with others that could use this. And until next time, y'all, I'm outie. Peace.